What's going on, guys? This is Yacineygo, and today we're going to be going over a very interesting deck list that actually managed to get top 64 at YCS Dale, so huge shoutouts to CB. This is actually basically like your deck. I changed like a couple of things, not too much actually. I really just removed 1-for-1 as well as Crystron Thistvern from the main deck to put it at 40, and then I replaced Nibiru with Ghost Bell, as well as in the extra deck I changed like Typhon and Underworld Goddess for Herald of the Arclight and Martial Metal Marcher, but this is really subject to change. But I really do like this deck list. This is a really nice concept, and it actually works way better than I thought. One could actually argue that if K9 ever gets banned, this is like the best way to play Crystron, because it is very consistent, and also both engines bridge into another, which may not look, you know, like serious and legit when I say it, but it does it in a very nice way. So you guys are really gonna like this, especially if you guys are Crystron enthusiasts just like me, right? And any new Crystron idea or build is something that you guys are, you know, looking forward to. This is a really, really good one. But before we go any further, as always, you know the drill. Smash the like and subscribe button. It really motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. And with that being said, let's get right into it. So again, huge shoutouts to CB for the deck list, as well as the performance. You know, top 64 at a YCS of like 2350 players. That's a fantastic job. But yeah, we're playing 12 hand traps as well as 5 other board breakers, I guess you can say. So 3 Ash, 3 Fua, 3 Imperm, 3 Ghost Bell, or 3 Veiler, or 3 Nib, whatever. And then Call by the Grave Talent and 3 Droplet. So 17 and 40, that's a really nice number. If you can aim like 17, 18, 19, 20, you know that your deck is a good deck. And then for the Crystron cards, you know, we're playing some ratios that are very reminiscent to older school Crystron. So double Tristalos as well as the Rosenix, Foolish Burial, 1 Inclusion, 3 Smyger, 1 Sulfador, triple Sofnir, and then 1 Cluster. So we can also main deck Thistvern, no problem. It's just that, to me at least, if I play Thistvern, I might as well play Citri, because they kind of go like hand to hand. So it feels a little weird to not play both at the same time. So you can side deck the package, and then also like main deck Quarion Ganjbax or the second copy of F.A. Donjbaxter over the Martial Metal Marcher or the Herald of Arclight. Or you could also play Zeus or Typhon. It's really up to you. But yeah, the Rosenix is there because you can banish it from the grave to summon a level 1 token. So just in case you don't understand how it bridges into Yummy, you have a Link 1 in the form of Clockwork Knight, and then you obviously get a level 1 non-tuner token in the form of the Crystron token off of Rosenix, and then you get to play the game from there. So yeah, it's really nice. Apart from that, I mean, obviously we're playing 10 Yummy cards, so triple Marshmallow, triple Cup C, 1 Cookie, 1 Lollipop, and then 1 Yummy Surprise, 1 Minion. So it's really just 2 Yummy bricks, and then all the Yummy cards, they're really good on their own. So 8 starters, 2 bricks. It's a good ratio of like 4 good cards to 1 bad card. 80% of the engine cards that you're splashing are good. So it's decent, right? It's better than 3 Brilliant Fusion, 1 Garnet. And then for the Crystron cards, I mean, obviously, I think you already know at this point if you understand the deck. For the extra deck, basically everything other than these 2 cards are a must. So obviously 1 Skeletas, 1 Dragster, Infinity Nova, SP Clockwork Knight, 1 of each of the Synchros, 3 of the Link ones. You burn through them super quickly. And then the Sprite Sprint is really needed because this is how you bridge from Yummy into Crystron, by going to Sprint using one of your Yummy Synchros, and then you send Tristalos, and then you banish it to destroy any of your Yummy Synchro in order to summon 2 Crystron's from deck. It really just destroys any Synchro on the field. It's really an unfair card. Tristalos is just cracked. And then, like I said, Martial Metal Marcher and Herald of the Arclight, which is awkward in this deck because if you make a Herald super early, when you go for the Sulfador summon, it's gonna send like 2 cards from deck to grave, but you can't really send your monsters. You're gonna have to send like Inclusion and Cluster. So you're gonna have to play like differently. And I will be showcasing some combos on how to, you know, not to worry too much about the Herald of the Arclight drawback in just a second. So let's get into combo number 1. Okay, so combo number 1, I have Cookie Yummy as well as any discard. And I mean, I'm showing Cookie Yummy, but it can really just be any Yummy monster at this point. So yeah, the very start of the combo is the exact same as regular Yummy, and then special summon the Cup C, Surge the Yummy Surprise, special summon the Marshmallow, and then go into Martial Metal Marcher, revive back your level 2 Synchro, and anyone who has Nib would drop the Nib here, because otherwise you threaten the Herald of the Arclight, and then you just keep playing with Yummy Surprise. So they have to Nib there. If you don't get Nibbed, then you can start playing greedy and just assume that your opponent doesn't have Nib, which is probably the smarter thing to do anyways. So we're now going to be going to the Link 1, and then Lollipop, revive back 2 monsters. Again, if we were to get Nibbed, we would have gotten Nibbed before, so it's not really something that I'm worried about at this point. But yeah, go into Sprite Sprint, send your Tristalos, and then you're going to be going Yummy Surprise, revive back the Marshmallow, recycle back the Surprise, and then we're going to make the Link 1, and then Tristalos Banish effect in order to summon your 2 monsters. This was like the last timing for you to do your Yummy plays, because as soon as you use the Graveyard effect of Tristalos, you are locked under Machine Monsters from the extra deck only. That is the reason why we can't make the Herald after, and we also can't do it before, because then is going to conflict with the Sulfador, and it's going to make those cards get banished instead, which is obviously not what you're trying to do. But yeah, send the Smygor as well as the Sulfnir, and then banish the Smygor, search the Inclusion, search the Cluster, Synchro Summon into the Skeletus, recycle back the Smygor, discard it in order to summon the Sulfnir, destroy the Skeletus, revive back the Tristalos from the banished, and then the Sulfador is going to be destroying the Inclusion, revive itself back, make the FA down Dragster, revive back your Sulfador, and then go into Nova Infinity, and then set your Yummy Surprise as well as the Cluster. At any moment, you can go Yummy Surprise, revive back either your Cupsy, your Marshmallow, or your Cookie, recycle back your Yummy Surprise if it's Marshmallow, and then you can also quick sync into the Cookie Yummy Way, and then Book of Moon up to 2 monsters, and also tag out in order to revive back your Cookie or Cupsy, as well as your Snatchy, and then you can destroy a monster if it's Cookie, and then you're also going to be able to quick sync again, technically, or you can just you know, go into the Martial Metal Marcher, and at this point, it's going to be like 9 disruptions. And you also have like the Sprite Sprint, which can get a bounce on top of obviously all of your Crystron interruptions, and the Yummy Surprise that could bounce back 2 cards. So quite literally every single card that we have here is a disruption. I mean, the Yummy Surprise in this instance, it wouldn't be able to, you know, bounce back 2. But if you had like a Yummy Extender, then actually you would have been able to do a little more. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold on a second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... A lot of disruptions, okay? There's like a 0% chance that you lose at this point. Okay, combo number 2, this time we're going to be bridging from Crystron into Yummy, because again, it does it really, really well, and it's actually beautiful. It's not even like you got to do some awkward plays, but yeah, normal summon, make the Clockwork Knight, banish it, search the Inclusion, search your Sulfnir, and then destroy the, well, discard whatever other card. If it's like Cluster or Tristalos, then you also get, you know, the Cluster in rotation. Otherwise, you're going to have to like miss out on the Cluster search. It's not the end of the world, you still do like a lot of disruptions, but obviously, like I said, it gets better when you have either Cluster, Tristalos, or Rosenix. It'll be basically either like one of the cards that you're trying to dump in the combo. Anyway, Sulfador is going to now dump for the other 2 cards, right? So either Tristalos or Rosenix. Well, I mean, obviously both, but you know, right? You understand what I'm trying to say. Banish the Rosenix, summon your token, go into Cupsy, search for the Marshmallow as well as the Cupsy, search Cupsy and Marshmallow, there you go. Summon, search Yummy Surprise, go into Martial Metal Marcher, and then link into the Snatchy, plays the minion, revive back whatever, and then we're going to be Synchro Summoning into Herald of Arclight, and then we're safe from Nibiru. Yummy Surprise, revive back the Marshmallow, recycle back the Yummy Surprise, and then Synchro into Lollipop Yummy Way, revive back 2 monsters, and then go into SP Little Knight, Synchro Summon using the Lollipop and Sulfador. That's really cute, you don't see that every day. And then Skeletus is going to be recycling back the Cluster, banish the Tristalos, destroy the Skeletus, summon those 2 Sulfnir from the deck, and then Skeletus, revive back the banished Tristalos, and then we make the Dragster here. Sulfador, destroy the Inclusion, revive itself back, and then make Nova, and then Infinity, and then Inclusion, revive back the Skeletus, so that every monster on the opponent's field loses 500 attack and defense, and also the Cluster will be able to destroy up to 2 face-up cards. So this is even better than the last combo. This is absolutely ridiculous to look at. So we have 1 SP banish, obviously with the FA down Dragster, the Infinity, the Cluster that can destroy 2 cards this time, the Herald of the Arclight, and then we also have Yummy Surprise into, you know, the Synchro that tags out, summon 2 monsters, and then gets a pop, gets a double Book of Moon, etc. blah, 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 because you're gonna get space very easily with SP banishing your stuff, or Herald sending itself to the graveyard. So you don't have to worry about that too much. And also you can recycle back that Inclusion back into the deck. And then if you can find a way to get like Smygor again in the grave, then you can keep searching it, and you're never run out of gas. You're never going to be running out of gas. So your Yummy engine recycles itself back, very good for the grind game. And the Crystron engine recycles itself back with the Cluster. Once you get to play the game, you are good to go. But yeah, that's it for this video right here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys very soon with another video. Peace.